All right, Brian, thank you so much for sticking with us. So ultimately, from what we've heard, do you think the attorneys have made an effective argument thus far for severing the case of Kenneth Chesebro?
Hey, Kelly, absolutely. I mean, they're making a powerful argument. And in essence, what the lawyers are arguing is these are different allegations against two different defendants. One involves, I believe it was the alternate elector conspiracy that involved Chesebro. Then Sidney Powell involves the Coffee County issue with issues with the computers. And really the thrust of their argument, which I think is persuasive, is why would you want to have a jury listen, for example, to a mountain of evidence involving the alternate elector conspiracy involving Chesebro if it doesn't implicate Sidney Powell? That's not fair to Powell, and it's not fair to Chesebro equally. The jurors are going to hear a mountain of evidence regarding alleged crimes that they have not been charged with. And that's a really, really powerful argument. And this is going to be a really difficult decision for the judge.
So how would potentially severing these cases of Chesebro and Sidney Powell impact the former president's case, if at all?
Fantastic question. If the judge grants this request to sever these defendants, and by the way, this isn't just a severance of the two defendants want out of the other 17 defendants. This is a double severance. They then want to sever their cases, right? There's two severances that the judge has to rule on. And if the judge does sever Chesebro's case from Powell's case, then that's going to create two separate jury trials, Kelly. And I'm not sure who's going to go first, but why is that important? Because that is going to dramatically push back the trial date of the remaining defendants in the case.
And how might this dictate, Brian, how prosecutors move forward now? And also, do you expect to see some of these defendants potentially turning on the former president?
Well, look, if I'm the prosecutor in this case, she's going to have to hear what the ruling is, right? So if the ruling is to deny the severance motion, then there's less strategically Fani Willis has to really think about, right? Because these two are still in the case with the other 17 defendants. But this is going to be a difficult decision for Willis then. If this judge grants the severance of Chesebro and Powell and allows them two separate jury trials, then I think Powell has to take a really close look at whether she wants to either cut a plea deal with a much minor charge with these two defendants or even possibly dismiss these two defendants. Why? Because if she doesn't do anything like that, Kelly, then the prosecutor's office is forced to put on a ton of evidence on two different jury trials that former President Trump, Mark Meadows, and all these other defendants are going to get to preview. They're going to see a lot of the evidence that's going to be used against them in their case, and that's not helpful to the prosecution. That actually helps the other defendants. So Willis is going to have to really, really seriously consider, does she continue on with what I perceive to be two kind of tangential defendants?
All right, really interesting. So how soon, Brian, could a trial begin here?
Yeah, another great question. I mean, there's no set rule. You're given a constitutional right to a speedy trial, but there's no set rule state to state on what number of days you need to have that trial take place. But the case law, by case law, when these lawyers are referring to case law, it's when a case is heard by a judge, it goes all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court rules on it. That becomes what's called case law, unlike statutory law, which is written up by legislators. So back to the speedy trial issue, most of the case law across the country says around 120 days from the date of arraignment. So if the judge severs these cases, then I would expect a trial date for either Chesebro or Powell to occur within 120 days from today.
All right, Brian Claypool, thank you so much for your real-time analysis. Much appreciated.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.